village residents have their own comprehensive plan, but they're also residents of the town. So I was wondering, do they include on the survey?
They are, we did the survey actually in conjunction with the village. So we have data that combines both village residents and town residents. When the survey was conducted, the interviewers specifically asked people if they lived in the village or if they lived in the town, so that we would be able to separate those two groups for the purpose of our analysis. This data is based on town residents only, so it does not include the village. But that information is available. You're welcome, yes.
Are the questions not included in the presentation?
The questions aren't included in the presentation because I simply could not fit it all in and have it be readable. But I believe that the questions are available.
They are, and so if you're interested in seeing the full range of questions, they are definitely available for you to look at. You can, I believe that they're not on the website, they will be, and you can also just come in and ask for them.
Absolutely. And I encourage you to do that because in survey research, of course, we know that question wording matters. Right? So it's important to look at. Absolutely. I had a gentleman in the back. Yes?
I just wonder about the survey. I remember when the lady came from Cornell at the town board meeting and talked about how the survey was being done and so. And she was very specific how it was going to be done. So, you call up this random people. But then you could also go into the Lansing website and do it through there.
Yes.
On your own. So I just feel like, and I don't know, but if you use those numbers also together, it would like not be as scientific.
That's correct. And in fact, these numbers do not include those people who were of their own initiative coming to the website to fill out the survey. That is a non-random survey. As you can imagine, people who are more interested, more excited about certain issues are more motivated to take even what may seem to us a short step. But again, if somebody called you, it's a lot different than you having to take the time to do the survey yourself. We have that data from people who were took the initiative to take the survey. Again, a non-random sample, so we can't make judgments about those answers and project them onto the entire population. They are not included here. So this is simply the random sample. Yes?
I have a question about methodology also for
Yes.
the survey. A lot of the younger generation don't have landlines anymore.
Correct.
So how they have cell phones? So
Yes.
how does the survey get their survey group get their telephone number?
The Survey Research Center is inundated with this, or overwhelmed with this problem of cell phone, right? Everybody has a cell phone. I know at our own house we have a landline, but we never, ever answer it. Ever. Doesn't matter, right? I delete all the messages that people leave on it. I don't know why I don't have it anymore. I just have a cell phone. And many people are cell phone only. The Survey Research Center contracts with research firms that find cell phone exchanges as well as landline exchanges. And so they actually did contact people on their cell phones. Now, the inside intricacies of how that methodology works, that would be something that I would have to refer you to SRI for, but we did include a cell phone sample in this, so those people are forwarded. And that is the practice with national samples as well. When you watch on television and you see CNN did a poll or Washington Post or Quinnipiac or one of them, they're also using cell phones these days as well. It's an issue in the survey research industry, but they have
Ways
worked on
around
it.
it.
They have their methods. They have their methods. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
follow-on to some of the questions that I had, but I really don't know the answer to this, is that when they're selecting the cell phone or the telephone numbers, do they specifically select it on area code? Or,
Yeah.
because I lived in Lansing for over 4 years, but I still carry a cell phone from the other part of the state.
As do I. And that is a problem with survey research, right? That people, I have my cell phone number from Pennsylvania.
Particularly with the transient number of people that
Right.
are in
Exactly.
the town in the village.
Exactly. Now, most people have lived here for longer than you and I. But that is an issue with survey research, and that's one of the errors in survey research. We don't believe it to be huge, right? And survey researchers are constantly doing work on trying to figure out what is the unknown error that comes with the fact that people no longer have a telephone in their kitchen that is their only method of communication. Now, in terms of landlines and cell phones and area code, what they do is they actually buy a sample from an outfit that has researched what exchanges are in operation and which are more likely to be business than residence. And the last 4 numbers of that number are put together by a computer, so they are completely different. And the Survey Research Center will call a number, I believe their protocol is 10 times. Right, so they don't call once and say, oh, they didn't answer, that person is out. They keep calling that number back, and I believe their protocol is a minimum of 10 times in order to make sure that they're doing due diligence in soliciting that person, and then they go on. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering why, when you're talking about a long-term change and a long-term commitment, you need such a short 5-year cutoff on the survey. So I would think that that would include a lot of people that have no commitment to the town. Maybe they just want to get their kids educated and they're heading off. And so, you know, to talk to them about something that will happen in the future is, you know, will kind of skew the answer.
Right. Well, that question actually is just one
Why not
question.
10 years or 15 years?
Right. And we certainly could have done that. But we asked people if they thought that they would be here in the next 5 years or so. And actually, when you look more deeply at that question itself, you see that older people are more likely to stay than younger people. And it's a statistically significant difference. Upwards of 80%, 70% of people over age 45 are saying, I'm here, I'm going to stay here. But the younger group is saying around 65%, yeah, I think in 5 years I'll still be here, right? And that is something, a trend that we're seeing in rural communities across the country, and that relates also to this idea of economic base and having jobs for people. We did not limit our survey or limit any of the questions to people only who said that they would be here for 5 years. That's just one question among many that we asked. I hope I answered your question. Sort of. We can continue the conversation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you had several slides about use of tax dollars, and I thought it was just wonderful ideas. But I'm wondering if in reality it's kind of a zero-sum game with tax dollars available for school systems and lots of other things. I'm wondering if the questions were put in a way such that the respondent chose to rank those. Because I think you'd learn more that way than saying, are you in favor of these things that most people are likely to be in favor of?
Right, and we did not use a ranking for that. We did ask these questions separately. And so we don't have a hierarchy of priorities in terms of, do people want sidewalks over lakeside development, etc. And that's not the type of takeaway that you can have from this type of data. So that is true. Other questions? Well, I'm sure during your breakout groups you'll come up with more questions, and we are very happy to answer anything that we can to the best of our ability. Thank you so much for your time.
And I think in further response to that last question, exactly one of the reasons why we're having this kind of meeting, so that we can get actually more fine-tuned comments from the public on specific issues. So we are going to separate into 4 breakout groups in just a couple of minutes. I see most of you found the packets in the back. In fact, I think there are actually just about one, which is great. I'm really pleased with the turnout tonight. I just wanted to refer to some of the things in there. You would have seen, if you look at it, a copy of Susan's presentation. We also included the draft vision statement in the package. We're not going to talk about that tonight, but again, we'd like you to look at it and let us know if you have any comments about that in the future. And again, you can do that by either using the comment form that's in the package. We give up a little comment form that you can fill out and send into the town. You can call the town offices. You can email the town. And hopefully, I'm hoping that the next person who's going to be involved in helping the comp plan committee move this along might be able to set up some kind of an interactive type of function on the website so that you can actually ask questions and get responses through that process. But anyway, I didn't have that kind of technical ability, and it's a good idea, and hopefully that will inform the remaining process. So the 4 breakout sessions we have, we are going to be talking about parks, recreation, and pathways, and that's going to be back in the Park and Recreation conference room. So you go out this room, turn left down the hall, and it's right at the end of the hall. We're going to have the town center and hamlet discussion in the small courtroom right over here. We're going to have the land use and development discussion over in this corner. And what we're going to ask people to do as we're milling around looking for the appropriate groups that we want to be in, we're going to form a circle of chairs around this area, and that will be the land use and development section. And then the 4th section will be gas drilling and hydrofracking back in the corner back there. And similarly, we'll ask people to just form a circle of chairs back there. Once we're going to spend 45 minutes on the breakout group discussions. Those 4 subjects are the ones that we have drafted, in a sense, chapters of the draft plan, goals and objectives, and some degree of recommendation statements. So we really want to get your input on those, and that's really the reason of having these specific breakout discussion groups. After those are over, we're going to get back together as a whole group. We're going to have note takers in each of the sessions. When we come back as a whole group, the note takers are going to give like a 2-minute summary of what happened in each group, so that those of you who are not in those groups can hear basically what happened. And again, this is just sort of a beginning point, so don't feel bad if you miss tonight's discussion on land use or on the town center, because there will be many more of those discussions. This is just kind of a way to get the committee familiar with the town residents' ideas and be able to sort of tune some of these things and move these along a little bit. So with that, I'm not going to suggest that we take a 5-minute break, because that ends up being 10 or 15 minutes. But we have refreshments in the back. Please help yourself to those on your way into the sessions. Again, do this in an orderly, calm manner. And, there is